Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the Headmaster's Homeroom. I am Lady Hamilton. It's so nice to see you guys again this Friday evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I have so many things and notes here. We do have a very wonderful young, patriotic young American that's coming on later on the show today. So make sure you're here to see him, and we're going to see what he is doing on the college campuses. I'm so proud to find out what his journey's been like and get an update from him. But I have a lot of great, wonderful new announcements. I'm first going to start with my producer. I've talked to you a lot about Scott and his wonderful family. He's been on my show before talking about Maui and things like that. And he's been so busy helping out his fellow neighbors and family and friends on the island of Maui. And I am so excited that he's going to start coming back live for his show starting this coming Wednesday. That should be Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Liberty or Rise. So everyone make sure that you go check him out, say hello, welcome him back. It is so nice to see that he is going to be coming back live on the air. We have definitely missed him, but I know that he's been so busy and he is on a mission to save the people on this island. He's had a lot of things to deal with, and so I'm really thrilled that he's going to be coming back. Again, guys, it'll be Wednesday at 5 p.m., and I will try my best to share that on all my social medias as well, which, speaking of social medias, you guys can always follow me on Lady Hamilton Art, Love My True Social, Lady Hamilton Art on Facebook, and then Lady Hamilton AR1 on Twitter. But you guys, if you know me, you know my home is on Truth. So make sure you give me a like and a follow on there so you can get all these updates. Also, since we're going to be doing this a little backwards, I usually have my guest up front, but my guest will be here, like I said, at 8 o'clock tonight, and we are so excited to welcome Anthony when he comes. That I wanted to make sure that we talked about a few things today. And I always, pray for guidance, like, what do you want me to talk about? And since education is my forte, I always see a lot of new things that are coming up. So I've got some articles I'm going to be sharing with you today. And I want to do a little different. Normally I do this kind of like midpoint or the end of my show, but I have what I always do. I have a special group called the Artist Corner, and it's always exciting. I'm going to load that up right now so you guys can see who our Artist of the Week is. I usually, like I said, do that later on. But let's get this loaded because let's celebrate. Where to go here? Let me see if I can add that. And I say my personal. Hopefully everything goes great today. Let's add that to the stream here so you guys can see. All right, yay. All right, everyone. This is so exciting. I really do love, whoops, wrong one. I love this. You guys, this is, I'm going to call it Sash J, SAHSJ, and I could probably be saying that very wrong, but I just absolutely love. We're going to celebrate. This is our featured artist of the week. And thank you so much, you guys, for liking, actively sharing these. That's how we kind of get votes on who the artist of the week is. It's on your likes, comments, and shares. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. The most popular is the one that's our artist of the week. So we are going to share these beautiful pictures. Oh, I love dogs and cats too. I'm such an animal person. I shouldn't have a favorite, but this one I'm showing you right now is probably one of my favorites from her because I had a dog that looks very similar to this, and these are just so beautiful. A lot of these are commissioned too, and I just think these are beautifully done. So let's see if you guys can see these. Aren't these just absolutely gorgeous? Just really detailed, beautiful artwork. Look at this cat. I also have a cat, not like this, but I've also had several cats in my life, but I just think these are really fantastic. And so I am so thrilled to celebrate with you guys. Look at these. Absolutely beautiful. So everyone, if you'd like to, I'm going to go back to the post so that you can see, again, these beautiful animals just done so well. So congratulations. It's so exciting to have you part of my group. And then we're going to post this here again. Give them a congratulations. and a huge follow would be great. And that's SAHSJ. And thank you guys, everyone, so much for voting, for sharing, for supporting, and being a part of the group. If you guys, even if it's an artist group, and when I say artist group, it's for all forms of art media, whether it's music or poetry or sculpture or cycle sculpture or metalwork or paintings or, I love to just highlight you every single day. I love the interaction. It's one of my favorite things to do in the mornings. Of course, after I pray and I do my things, but if I'm going to go on and look at my phone, I want to see your beautiful work. It just highlights my day before I get busy teaching our youth. And it's, again, like a social media cleanse. I don't stay away from the news, but I definitely like to start my day with the scripture and some beautiful artwork. And I just love it. I love highlighting you guys every single day. So even if you're not an artist, join the group. It's a lot of fun. You get to see some beautiful work, and your talents are absolutely astonishing. So thank you so much for sharing those with me and with everyone else. Again, you guys got to go to True Social and join Artist Corner. That's the name of my group, okay? Artist Corner. And I love it. So thank you so much for being a part of that. All right, since we're doing a few backwards, I was sitting here thinking about Christmas, and you guys know that I am doing things on my Sunday show now. After a few weeks ago, I had a show where I showed you like over 90 different gifts that you could hand make and have personalized, or do something that's a little bit more intimate, a little bit more, just like I said, that handmade gift is just so unique and so personal. I love them. And so I'm going to be showing you about 10 of these because Christmas is coming up like really soon here. I think we only have 2 months maybe, as November is coming, right around the corner. And with shipping involved, you want to make sure that you have time to not only make gifts, but get them out. So I'll be showing you 10 to 12 of these starting this Sunday. We did apple cider last week and mead. That was a lot of fun, and they are brewing really well. I check on them every single day, making sure they're going. They're just going really well. I cannot wait. Won't be done by Thanksgiving, our cider, and then our meat will be ready for Christmas. And how exciting is that to have for our Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner, or to give to a gift for, family or friends, or to bring it to your family and friend function and share. And those are just going so well. So I'm excited about that. But I want to get our sponsors, because one of the things I was thinking about, and I have these notes I keep looking at, everyone, is supporting our locals, right? And when I mean that, I mean nationwide too, but supporting each other in this country is so important to me. The reason I even have you guests on is because I love to do that. I love to show the great work you're doing in your communities or in our nation, your businesses, your artwork, your voice. I love, love, love to do that. So I want you to know that I just don't say this. I am also a supporter too. I try to find things. My husband and I play a game per se every year. We've been doing this for about 5 years now, maybe a little bit 6 years, something like that. But every year we put names that have to do with Christmas in a hat. Noel, Christ, Psalms, joy, but usually they're the same amount of letters, okay? And so 5 or 6 letters, depending on what you do. You could do 3, and then we pull out colors too. And last year we pulled out Christ, and the color was green. So every single letter to Christ, you have to find a gift that starts with that and has to do with green as well. And so this year the word was pulled out was Psalm, and the color was green again. So I guess I need to have a lot of green in my life right now, which is nice. I guess I always think of green as everlasting, ever living, evergreen trees, those kind of things. So it's really interesting. And I'm trying to support my locals and my nationwide businesses here too, because it's important to me to be a part of letting you grow as a business, as it is you guys supporting us as well. So I've been looking into this, and I know that I talk about honey like crazy. You could absolutely buy local honey too, but I love our sponsor, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. And that's why I said we're kind of doing things backwards. But one of the things I thought of is I am literally going to be buying. So I keep talking about this turmeric honey, and I know I use it for me, and I'm selfish that way, and I cook with it. But my father also has the same kind of problems with allergies or inflammation, and turmeric is amazing at this. So I will be ordering him. Hopefully he's not watching, Dad. I hope you're not watching. But if you are surprised, I will be ordering turmeric honey for a gift for him through Be Nourished. And I love it because they're giving it 22% off to our viewers. So this is a really great thing. They're not the only one I'm buying from, but I wanted to do that and let you know that that could be an amazing gift, a healing product. Your local honeys is what really fights off your allergies. So maybe you could give something local and something like this as well, because this is just, an amazing, like I said, amazing honeys out of Maui. And they are absolutely just some of the best tasting honey I've ever had in my life. So what a wonderful gift to give. If you guys want to check them out, let me introduce you to Be Nourished, and I'll be right back.
Honey. It's one of the greatest gifts to man. With millions of wildflowers in every bottle, the nourishing power of honey is still yet to be fully discovered. Be Nourished Healing Products combines healing ingredients from around the planet to the purest honey from the island of Maui to bring magic to your taste buds. The best honey from the most beautiful place to nourish your body, mind, and soul. From our hearts to yours, be nourished.
So everyone go check them out. See what you have, see what you think. I mean, it doesn't hurt to go look and see. They have so many wonderful, beautiful honeys that I highly encourage you to check them out. Everything from the turmeric to dragon fruit to raw honeys to mushroom honeys, just a really amazing healing products. And they are amazing tasting. So that is awesome. And you get to help out us as well. So thank you so much for that. But here's some other things. I love when you guys come on my show, and I encourage you, if you'd like to come on my show and promote your business or artwork, please reach out. You can do so. Find me, Lady Hamilton Art. You can even email me at ladyhamiltonart@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. But here's some wonderful guests I've had on, and I cannot tell you what I'm buying because I do know people are watching this show, and I do not want to tell them what I'm buying. But Siberian Kitten I've had on a few weeks ago, and I told you and showed you the sweatshirt I had made for my daughter for her birthday that had her favorite dog on it. And she did such an amazing original work and took the picture and just custom designed this. And I could barely get my daughter out of this. Speaking of my daughter, she just went to get her license today. So luckily you don't live near me. No, I'm kidding. But it's just how fast they're just growing up. My baby is getting her license and moving on with life. And she did really well and passed. So awesome to that. But I am getting something from Siberian Kitten. I love Troll Smart. I have bugged them to come on the show. Some people are, always a little nervous, but I have promoted them. They've been an artist of the week. I encourage you to go look at their handmade blades. They're phenomenal. Leah has been on our show, Leah Bose and Brian Snuffner. I am absolutely wanting to buy one of their children's books, for my second grader. I look forward to that. Be Nourished again. I kind of blew the whistle on that for my dad. And then also Ray Luzardo wrote a great book for children as well. If you guys remember the show I had with Ray, I love Ray. He's also my co-moderator on Artists Corner. And I have thought about my second grader and how much she would love that book. And she has literally asked me if she could write her own book. She did have her grandfather just recently passed away, and God has been a super central focus in her life right now. And she wanted to write a book for her family for Christmas about God. And I cannot wait. This book is almost done. She's got all the illustrations. She's written the book and she's done the illustrations herself. It takes time for a little second grader to do all this and paint it and everything. She's drawn it. She's painted it. And I am going to do everything I can to bind it. And she's going to handwrite her words to the story to this. And I just thought giving her not only that ability to do something for her family, but I think that she would really love a book from like Ray talking about God and the Savior. And he's done such a great job with that book. I can't wait to give that to her for Christmas. So this is my way of saying how awesome it is to support each other as the season's coming near with just something unique and personalized. And again, like I said, on Sunday, I'm going to be doing some shows starting this Sunday again, continuing doing shows, showing you literally how to make some things. I'll go over that at the end of the show of what we're going to be doing. And I also have an announcement that I'll be doing a giveaway as well, which is really nice. I have a few presents I'm going to be giving followers. So I hope you guys are here to see this. So stay till the end because I have an announcement. I'm going to show you some things I'm going to be giving away to a few lucky followers. So thank you, because that's how much you mean to me. I love that you guys follow me. I love that you guys subscribe. I love that you guys share my show and you come to say hello to me. That means the world to me. So I'd love to give back to you as well. All right. That's my first thing of notes. So one of the things I'm going to start with tonight is really interesting because like I said, I have a lot of articles to show you about education. But I find it really interesting that we've been told that, we're book banners and, we hate our youth and how dare us ban any books. And again, I'm not for banning books at all. If you want to write your book, whatever, fine. But what level of children or young adults get to see certain books is where I have an issue, especially if it's pornographic in nature. And the whole reason I even have my second graders is because of this ideology, this indoctrination, this way of, the kid, when she was in kindergarten, she literally got sent home the book, is it Gender Queer or Queer Theory? I can't remember which one. I think it's Gender Queer. And this is literally a comic book version of step-by-step instructions of two men, how they have sex or oral sex and things like that. It was mortifying. And then to say that she needs to be put on blockers or ADHD medication because, she's out of control. And luckily her mom was like, I've had enough. And she came to me and she's like, can we do this? And I had never done elementary before. I said, yeah, I'm absolutely behind this because you guys, if you know me at all, the hill I fight on is our youth. And I do fight like hell. I mean, I am always with my congressman. I'm always at the school board meetings. I'm always doing something to shout out, especially about the curriculum, these books, this indoctrinations, Title IXs, the DUI, the DEIs, all this kind of stuff. I'm very, very vocal about it. And so Kirk Cameron shared, and I want to share this picture. Kirk Cameron shared a picture of books that are actually getting banned. And he said that this would be a great English 101 class. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, so I'm going to share these with you and put these up here and then read some of these books that they're taking out of the curriculum. And it blows my mind. We have To Kill a Mockingbird, The Great Gatsby, The Catcher in the Rye, Lord of the Flies, Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, Great Expectations, Pride and Prejudice, Of Mice and Men, 1984, which that does not surprise me, Shakespeare's works, Hatchet, The Outsiders, The Grapes of Wrath, Little House on the Prairie, Jane Eyre, Little Women, Island of the Blue Dolphins, and Anthem. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm also a huge supporter of Ayn Rand. And so, I mean, you guys, I will share this on social medias so you guys can share this out. But they sit there and say that we want to get rid of books. We just want to get rid of the pornography. So our kids are not indoctrinated with this craziness, especially seeing something pornographic, right? And it's funny because in my high school, speaking of Ayn Rand, I'm going to show you. Here's some books I do suggest, because that would be a great English 101 class. with the books I just mentioned. And I cannot believe they're taking those out of the curriculum and taking them out of the schools, and yet letting us still have all these other crazy pornographic books. But these are some of the books that we read in here. And like I told you, I love Ayn Rand. I love her for more than just these books being political. She is one of the most descriptive, creative writers I have ever read. And especially We the Living is one of my favorites. I mean, at the beginning of every chapter, this book is written so well. The descriptions are written so well. It's like walking right into the scene as if you can literally see everything around you. I mean, she just is such an amazing descriptive writer. So I highly suggest these books from Ayn Rand. This is We the Living, The Fountainhead, and Atlas Shrugged. And I'll tell you, they're very eye-opening, but really great read. Another ones that I love, if you guys want some book recommendations, one of my favorites I have here is called Reading the Bible with Our Founding Fathers. If you did not think that our founding fathers were, God-fearing men, I really encourage you to read this book. Again, check it out at the library if you can. But again, this is called Reading the Bible with the Founding Fathers. It's from Daniel Dreschbach, Dreisbacb. I think it's Dreschbach, something like Dreschbach, something like that. We'll put that up here again for you. So Reading the Bible. This is a great, beautiful read. Another one I love, especially for your young children too. You guys might recognize this one. Rush Limbaugh. In fact, our mascot's named, when I saw that, his horse was named Liberty, and our mascot is a stallion. We named it Liberty. I do love some Rush Limbaugh, and he wrote this great series here. This is one is Rush Revere and the First Patriots. Again, he's got these amazing books. You guys should, if you know Rush Limbaugh, you should know these books. And what a wonderful suggestion to read. Your kids, I think, will love them. Another one that I'm so thrilled became a part of our curriculum this year, and our high school students really love this so much that they suggested be a movie, and it's Rabbit Skin from Cat Turd. If you don't know that Cat Turd's an author, you should know. This is one of his books, and I hear that he's writing a second version of this, but the high schoolers really thought this would be a great movie. So if you're watching Cat Turd, my high schoolers, and I've told them that, I've sent them an email and things like that, because I love these books, that you should really look into it. If high schoolers recommend this, he might want to think about making this a movie. But it's a really great science fiction book, and I love it. So there's some suggestions for you on books as well, besides the list that they want to ban. Just horrible. I suggest you try to go find those books. I don't know how long they're going to be out there, but they're amazing. I just, this blows my mind, the attack on our reading and for our children and the indoctrination. You think that our education is still safe, and we know and we hope things will change. But, people are even fighting the APL, this American Public Libraries Associations, because I try to take the books out. They say, no, by law, you can't ban these books. You have to have them back into your libraries. But yet they want to take other ones out and put these crazy indoctrinated books in for our youth, where you can't even read them at a school board. You get silenced because they won't allow that to be read at a school board meeting, but it's okay for our youth to read. Absolutely, it just enrages me on that level of hypocrisy and pornography that they're willing to allow our youth to see. So let's move to some articles here that I wanted to share with you. They're going on here. And let me load these up. And I'll be sharing these as well with you all, so that you can social. Will they let us share this? Well, hopefully they'll let us see this article. Hopefully I can add this to the stream. There we go. Come on, you can let me add this to the stream. Let's hope it shows. Maybe. There we go. All right. So education indoctrination has created an extremist generation. And this right here, campus reform higher educator fellow Nichols education system has led students to being unable to think critically. Now, what is this generation going to do once they graduate? Well, I'm sorry, Georgia attention decades ago, and that is very true. This is not something that's kind of just happened overnight, as we might want to think. This has been little by little, as this has just become worse and worse and worse. And I don't think it's going to allow me to read anymore. Sorry about that. It's jumping all over the place over here. But if you guys, I will include this link, but I absolutely agree with it doing. Let me stop sharing with that. What is it doing to our youth as we sit there and see this more and more? And it's starting at like kindergarten, even sometimes younger. And we see this in our curriculum. And when I go to build my curriculum and I look at like our standards, our, because I want to make sure that we're following basically standards or meeting certain goals, I also get to see the curriculum of each state and what they're including. And it's just every state that I've kind of seen so far has this kind of built into their agendas. And it's just really, like I said, I saw it starting at kindergarten. It was just mortifying. But what is that going to leave our children to become if they even believe that they can continue? I mean, one of the reasons I opened up my school is because the fact that the students I taught in public school didn't even know pathways forward. They didn't know how to even reach out and find scholarships. They didn't even believe that they could go and have an education in college or build a business or go to a trade school. They just had no idea. They don't have an idea how to have a budget or how much does an apartment cost or anything like that. It was just alarming to me. And teaching this on the side of what my actual curriculum was, I felt that they should at least know about household budgets and pathways forwards, grants, opportunities that were available to them. And these students still reach out to me to this day with a huge thank you for helping them find pathways to their future. It's not for me to say, hey, go be a lawyer or go be a doctor. It's my job as an educator to say, what do you want to become? And let me help you find that way. And let me make sure you have the foundations and the critical thinking skills so that you can accomplish your goal. So that is exactly what I like about that one, is how in the world are children going to have a future when they're being literally focused one way, or they're not going to be thinking critically at all. And this is a problem. They just do what you're said, do what you're told, and you don't need to think. And please don't research it, right? Speaking of that, just as another example of how, and hopefully we get this one here. This one just mortifies me. My husband was, hopefully it lets me load this up. There we go. Let's see. Come on. We want to add it to our stage. There we go. Everybody say a little prayer that we can show you this. Google's been giving me so much fits, and I have to use Google when I am on StreamYard here. Let's see. And it's just been giving me fits. So we're going to hope it works. Okay. So Oregon, and I knew this happened before, they lowered their standards. So you didn't have to meet certain requirements to graduate. And it's just getting worse every single time I turn around. So they're lowering them again. The Department of Education flushes proficiency standards for graduation in basic subjects. And this is the subjects they are lowering are reading, writing, and math. It was impressed upon us that to navigate through life, you must be somewhat proficient in all three areas. That wasn't to say that our other subjects like science and history weren't important, but those three would be used on a daily basis when we're out in the workplace. In today's educational system, it's shocking that proficiency in even these basic subjects are not required. What's even more shocking is that they're requiring a certain degree of adequacy is at times considered inequitable and even racist. I don't know how math is racist. And I know they think that you could say, oh, okay, these kids, minority kids that can't reach these levels. Well, whose fault is that? I can tell you some of my best students are minorities. I mean, my valedictorian, or the one who's going to have a valedictorian, is minority. My second graders are both minorities. And it's amazing because, especially with math, they're already jumping past what is considered level and thriving. They love math because I changed the verbiage and I gave them a project-based examples and project-based learning. That math is one of their actual favorite subjects. And they're loving math. I was just told by one of my second graders, she's like, I love math. It's my favorite thing in the world. And I'm like, and that's just by changing the way that we approach it as educators. Like I said, I call it a math party instead of a math punishment, everyone. And it's just amazing how it's just changed with their whole thing. And like I said, I have them on some levels doing third and fourth grade work already, because, even though we focus on building up the skills and building up retention and building up your basics, I'm still pushing forward. What can you achieve? What can you achieve? Let's try this. And it's just amazing how well they're doing. And we're only in our month 2 this year. But again, here's Oregon. And it's so sad because they want to make sure that they lower these expectations because they find that it's not equitable and it could be racist. And it's just breaks my heart because we're just saying, what, you're not smart enough. We're telling them you're not smart enough. That you can't meet this level. I mean, this is a disgrace. It's absolutely our education system that's telling them this, when instead we should be doing the exact opposite and showing them that they can do this. They are smart enough. They can achieve anything they want to do. That's why I keep saying all youth are possible. You are possible. You are possible at math. You are possible at reading. And two of my favorite things are, I find the most critical, reading always number one. Because if you cannot read, you can't even read your numbers. And how would you ever have a critical mind for research or looking into things if you cannot read and understand? You need to have that skill and you need to have it honed into you and be rewarded for such. And then again, math. I really find, how do you know you're not the next, who knows, the next Elon Musk, the next, next president of the United States. You could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, or whatever you want to do. It's our jobs to show you the foundations and teach you those and tell you that you are possible. And here we have a whole entire state that's saying, no, you don't need this. You're never going to accomplish this because you know what? It's just racist and it's not equitable. And this is absolutely, so they're just eliminating the tests completely. I just find this absolutely crazy. This started in 2021. And they found out by lowering some of those standards weren't enough, that they wanted to definitely lower them more. And they tried to sit there and blame it on things like, COVID or distance learning, or I'll tell you what, I'm an online school with live instruction. So you cannot even tell me it's based on learning some kind of hybrid instruction or online learning, because I can do it. They can do it. And it's just absolutely sad. And they have a much bigger staff than I do. I just don't take it. I believe in our youth. And, one of the things I absolutely disagree with too is these huge classroom sizes. Let me remove this. Instead of having 20 administration staff, why don't we have lower and smaller classroom sizes and hire more teachers? That would be a really win-win situation, especially with our little ones. I have noticed that a lot when I would go and I would hand out or do certain things, and because I only have a few, and we're testing out elementary, and I have like maybe 5-10 max in any class that I have in my school. But when you have a teacher with 25 students and you're passing out a whole bunch of worksheets and your time's up, and then these kids turn to worksheets because they haven't got the help and they're empty, I get that it's not necessarily on the teacher, and I'm not trying to really blame a teacher per se, but you got 25 little ones running around, and you're trying to teach the same material and you don't have that time to go give them that one-on-one attention. This is where we're failing. There's so many ways that we could do this better, and we just choose not to. Instead, we need to hire 20 more administrative staff, that aren't even teaching. I mean, how many people do you know that it's a headmaster that teaches most of the classes? I mean, this is something I do myself, as I actually teach besides run this school. It's important to me to be a part of that. So I find that just really interesting here. Oh, okay. So I try. You started reading that one. Awesome. So I'm just saying hello to you guys. It's so nice to have you here. But it just breaks my heart here that our school system is such a mess. Here's another one that my husband and I had talked about before. We were afraid that it was going to come to a town near you. And hopefully I can share this. We call it cookie cutter education. And my husband and I, as we were talking, we're like, one of our biggest worries is that because our students, I don't know if you know this, but most of our students are already online. They're already on a computer. By first grade on, they're literally in front of a computer most of the time, especially by high school. They're on a computer. So even though your kids are at school, they're still doing their schooling online, which, is just like, sometimes I had a guest on called The Distant Teacher we were both talking about the fact that they were doing like either credit recovery or just taking pre-tests to pass the main test. And once they got a certain percentage, they're good to go. And that could be a D and you're good to go. And that's not acceptable at all. I mean, what are they actually learning to pass a test? Well, we failed it, so the answers must be this, none, and they could just be guessing. But what are they actually learning? Sorry, I'm back, everyone. So I'm going to show you that because now it's a problem. Now they're starting to focus on this. Cookie cutter education may stifle future prodigies. And again, I'm going to be sharing these links. But no, thank you here. And we have a pair of North American intellectuals. Model of education has become too standardized and has had a dehumanizing effect. I'm going to for Professor of Toronto will be presented at the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship conference in London later this month, with attendees at the conference are said to include intellectuals, to several members of parliament, because they're very solid. Let's see if we can get rid of that one and see if they'll put me back. There we go. About cookie cutter education. And like I said, my husband and I had a talk about this last year, about their goal being this: everybody is learning the exact same thing and everybody's going to be online. And if I have children myself, I know for a fact that they were online in public school. Almost, one of the reasons I would pull them or teach them or start my school myself, because the fact that I did not want my kids, all kids don't learn the same way. This is why another thing of why I think small classrooms is one of the most important things that we can do, to number one, give our teachers the ability to actually reach out and help the students that they have, but also to avoid this whole one size fits all. Not every child, there's no child in the world that's the same as the other, and we all have different ways of learning. This is why I like our model of these project-based art integration, because I can take these projects and really turn them into, or have the children turn them, even though I have you have certain requirements, they can personalize them and really make it their own. And like I said, every child learns a different way, and a cookie cutter system is what we're seeing. It's completely failing. And then we just take the standards and we lower them and tell them, oh my gosh, you can't pass math because it's racist. As you can see, this bothers me beyond belief. our system needs to change. And as much as we like to say, oh, I don't know what it is. First of all, we got to change some of these laws that are strengthening this ideal. And number one would be Title number 9. I've spoken about that a lot. That's our DEI, where everything is supposed to be inclusive and everything is supposed to be equitable. And as much as you may or may not disagree with that, the fact is that it shouldn't be mandated and shoved down their throats. It should be something that protects our children from her. Title IX was started to protect us from harassment. We all agree with that. And it shouldn't be equitable. It should be equality. So it should be equal for all, but we should not limit our children. We should never limit our children. We should be thriving and pushing them to their excellence. So I'm glad to see that at least some people are being concerned, but you should absolutely be concerned, parents. And there's reasons I'm showing you this so that to continue to keep looking into your school systems, what is going on, because these are our future leaders. We don't want our youth lost. We don't want our youth continue to feel depressed, lonely, being suicidal, being indoctrinated, to be not even able to critically think for themselves. That's one of my biggest concerns. Is if you don't know, then you just follow along, right? And it's just something that absolutely has to change. All right, let's look at another one. I think, is that the only ones I have? Okay, yes. Oh, no. Sorry, one more. Let's see if they'll let us share this one. Voila. Look at that. Well, let's share this one. Okay. All right. Something else here, too. New York GOP lawmakers accuse state educational board of pushing anti-Semitic material to kids. And if you have not heard about this is very, very much something that's happening. And I saw this when I was teaching even the public school. And this is now 4 years ago that I was teaching in the public school here. And what I mean, this anti-Israel message on children through teaching materials. And I don't know at that time if they were pushing this agenda per se. I'm sure that they were. But what was alarming to me is that a lot of our students, I would say about 40% of our students, didn't even believe or agree or know. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of reasons here, but didn't even know or believe that the Holocaust was real. And that was very alarming to me, like it was some kind of made up history and that millions and millions of Jews did not die. And I'm like, why would that be? And this is why I always say history is so important. In fact, I have a painting that's dedicated to the Holocaust, because this is an evil time. And if we don't know history and we are not reading and we're being told something completely different, right? You're not going to believe it. You're not going to know about it. And it's going to repeat itself. They always say that history repeats itself, especially if you don't know it. This is why they take it. This is why they change it. This is why, they manipulate it, because they don't want our youth to know it. And I always joke about that's why they took out cursive, so that we cannot read our own Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, right? If you can't read cursive, how would you read it? And if you can't read, then on top of not knowing cursive, then you wouldn't be able to read anyway. We'll tell you what it's supposed to say and just go along with that, right? And that's kind of the whole thing. We're just going to tell you what it is, and we're hoping that you just kind of, go along with that. And it's just alarmingly disturbing to me. I had a few other here that I don't know if it will show me. It really kind of hates when I do this, but I have shared this on True Social. One is from Crossroads here. It says new K-12 social studies standards being approved right now in Minnesota reveals how CRT is being pushed by woke educators, but under different guises. This is something that's very true. I saw this also at an education. I went to speak at the Ohio National Education Board annual event. And this was a few years back. And even with Common Core, we don't hear Common Core as much anymore. Now we hear what's called standards. And so this is a great way for them just to change things. We'll just change the name. So if you call up your school, do you say, hey, do you have CRT here? They can literally say, no, we don't, because they've already changed the name. And I've shared videos with here before. K-12 is an online school that they offer, even through our public school system. So if and it's different because it's state by state, but K-12 is the online version of most of our public schools now. And they're changing social studies. That's your history. We're going to change it. We're going to manipulate it. We're going to take certain things out, certain books out that I showed you before, because we don't want you to know. We're going to manipulate this and teach you what we want to teach you. That is part of critical race theory. We're going to teach you how math is racist. We're going to teach you how history is racist. We're going to do all these kind of crazy things to our children. And again, if your reading levels at third grade or under, your math levels are barely the same, and we're going to not make sure you take any tests, right? So that we're going to keep those standards low. What are we producing out here? This is, like I said, one of the main reasons I opened a school, because our children are so much smarter than this. And I know you will agree with me in the chat. Our kids are so much smarter than they give them credit for, just by letting them thrive, changing the environment, changing the way that they're learning, helping them find ways to retain and to research things. And not everybody wins a prize. Not everyone, I don't agree with that either. But this stuff has got to change. And another one I was going to share on here too, and I hate it when I share things right off of my social media, everyone. But if you don't know this, in 1979, the Department of Education was created. And so these title programs started in the early 70s. That's why I said this is not something that just happened today. This is something that's been happening for decades, little by little, squeezing into our school systems more and more. And we need to, and I'm sorry, I'm one of those too, until I had children my own self who would even think about that. But I saw this happening to my own children, especially in middle school this time. Now they're in college and stuff. 2 are in college, and 1 is going to graduate this year. But this is something I saw being put onto them, the agenda, this indoctrination. You can change your body, you can have surgeries, and we're not going to tell you the life-altering effects of these. We're not going to tell you the realities of these surgeries. We're not going to tell you the realities of what you're going to have to do after these surgeries. We're going to, or the horrors of these situation, and especially in middle school. What a perfect time to start playing around with this. I know that they're starting earlier, but you're, middle school, your hormones are just starting. You're a total wreck. You're uncomfortable in your own skin. So it's easy for them to say, well, that's got to be because, you're not really a girl. And it's happened to my own daughter. Luckily, we were able to counteract that and show her that, hey, you're made by God, and this is just a hard time. Puberty is a really hard time to go through, but you are loved. You are made through perfection. And, we want you to thrive no matter what you want to do. And if that's going to be something you want to do as an adult, that's going to be your choice. But we are not going to change who you are. We believe in you. We love you. And, it's just hard. I mean, middle school is hard because you're going through all these life changes. But that wasn't good enough. We're going to start now on our kindergartners. So, everyone, I continue to ask for your help to continue to fight and be supportive, whether you have kids or not. I'm asking you to help these children thrive. Share these articles, get this word out. There's parents out there that don't know that this is happening. When I go out and about too, I ask people if they even know about these things, or if they know about things like True Social, if they even know about Rumble in general, and they just don't. A lot of people have never even heard of this. So even if you're doing those kind of things, or sharing articles, or talking about this, or going to your school board meetings. You do not have to have a child to go to a school board meeting. These are your children in your neighborhood. These are children, it may not be your kids or grandkids may not be in your zone, but there are youth that are literally going through this right now. So writing a letter, calling your congressman, doing something that you can to help our youth. It means the world to me, because that is definitely the hill I want to fight. And it just really bothers me. And again, give some books. get some really good books out there before they're gone forever, just blows my mind that they would start taking these books out and allowing the other ones to stay, the pornographic materials to stay, but taking out really great ones. I'm just, again, loving my Ayn Rand. Think of Little House on the Prairie. I was like, oh, really? To Kill a Mockingbird, Uncle Tom's Cabin. I mean, just all these kind of books that they want to take out. It's just absolutely alarming to me. So, that being said, right, it really weighs heavy on my heart. And like I said, when I went to say prayers tonight before the show, it's not only on my heart. Save the children. I just keep hearing we got to continue to do all that we can to save our children. It seems like evil is attacking them from every single side: the schools, trafficking, their environments. It's a real hard time to be a child right now. And we can do this together, everyone. I know that we can. We just have to continue. This is not going to be a fight that's done with overnight. It's going to be something that we're going to have to continue and continue. And I don't know if even a presidential change will make this change right away. I'm hoping so. I really do hope so. But sometimes when you're fighting with laws, I've always seen that the laws never really change. They're manipulated all the time. They're added to all the time. But I never see a law taken away. I don't care who's in Senate or who's in Congress. It seems like that never happens. And we have to be on this, just like I'm seeing, out there too. Our voices are being heard right now. And if we're unhappy with something, we need to get rid of those people. I've heard about primary. We need to primary the people that we don't want in office. And here's another thing I find really difficult too. Because I know people that are personally trying to run, and if you're not part of that boys club, the old school club, they just shut you out or not give you a chance to run. And that's another concerning thing to me, is how do you run for office if you're literally not part of the establishment and they literally push you out? How do we get new blood in? I mean, that's an honest question. How do we local people start running if we're not part of the club? And you guys have any answers to that? I would love to hear about that, because even if I thought about ever running, how would I do that if I'm not part of the club and they don't want me there? They literally just will, find a way to squeeze you out so you can't run against them. And then we're still choosing between evil or more evil, or, and then you're stuck with this established person versus having new blood in there. And so I'm also always alarmed with, how do we change if we cannot get new blood in? And I have thought about it. To be real honest, I have thought about it, because even my own reps, I'm like, I don't like that. I watch what you vote for. I read your newsletters. I'm always on the phone to you. I'm going, okay, I'm sorry, but I am not in support of, if we can't protect and feed our own, why are we giving all of our money away to everyone else in the world when we cannot take care of our own people? And yet you keep voting for this, and their answers are alarming, or they'll send me a newsletter back or a letter back, going, oh, but we've created some jobs. That wasn't even an answer. You created some jobs. So that's not even an answer. Why do you keep voting for billions to leave? Please answer the question. And you're supposed to be a Republican, or you're, even if you're a Democrat and you say you're on the side of this, but then yet your actions. I always tell my students too, and my own children, actions speak louder than words. And I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for, but I am telling you that when you go to vote for somebody, you need to do the research and find out what their actions have said. Are their actions in line with what you want? Because that will speak volumes, no matter what side you're on. Are they actually in line with what your thinking is? Or do they vote for something different? Do they spend the money on something different? And then how we primary them and how we make that change, that's going to be a fight as well. And I'd love to see some comments on and ideas on how we can make a change that way. Because how do we get new people into office if they're literally being shoved to the side and not promoted? And I'm not part of that establishment. It's really kind of concerning to me. As I watch different podcasts and I hear that too, it's always an alarm, like, we need new blood. I'm like, well, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think we need term limits too. And I think that would be a huge help, getting term limits in, because then you couldn't necessarily be that kind of part of an established or lifer. But I mean, they vote on this themselves. It's not something we get to vote on. So how do we even get term limits if they're not even going to vote on that themselves to make that change? Again, alarming. But to watch 2 or 3 people that I know from around the nation try to even run. I know somebody locally that, their business manager left, that they took all their money, they got shut down, and they were fighting against, a very powerful Democrat that has been in office for a very long time. And they didn't want them in there, whether it was the Democrats doing it or our own, the Republicans doing it to them. They got squashed out, so they couldn't afford to run. And I'm like, so how do we make a change? That's a very alarming concern of mine. So, speaking of the next thing, and this was just brought to my attention today. And when it comes to our health, it's always alarming to me. And I don't know, I got to do some more research on this, everyone. This is something that, like I said, was just brought to my attention today. And I've heard rumors about this. See, let me add this to the stage here. Well, let me add this to the screen. I hope so. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let's give it a minute to load up. Maybe I'll just have to read it to you. This is scientists unveil air vax to combat vaccine hesitancy. This link with you guys. I'm going to put this right into the streams right now. Thank you, JJ. Right. I am reading your chats right now. That I do the same with your rep to keep them accountable, right? It's all I know how to do. I don't know how to make changes without literally continuing to be part of this, like, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and I want to vote for you. But on the other hand, I don't want to vote for the other side either. I want to vote for fresh new blood. I want to get some people who are actually going to fight for ourselves and our country. So I'm a little nervous on how we do this. Oh, it is showing this. Great. So, okay. Actually saw this. I was going to, I got the very last few minutes to the Catcher and Jules show, right, in the litter box. And I saw somebody share this article and I was reading it. And it's a scientist unveil an air vax to combat vaccine hesitancy. Of course, Yale University, right, has developed a vaccine that can be now put into our air. And it's really alarming because it's an airborne aerosols to deliver mRNA vaccines straight into people's lungs. The new system was developed by researchers at Yale University. The scientists developed the air vax to combat vaccine hesitancy as a new method bypasses the need for injections, is pumped into the air and used to vaccinate large crowds of people at one time with the air they're breathing. I don't even know what to say to this, because part of this article goes on to say, well, what about the people who are not consenting to that? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We're just going to put it into the air. I've heard about these before with airstreams and things like that, and toxins and whatever being let go. But where's our consent? Where's our consent? We're continuing on a daily basis to lose our rights more and more and more and more. And I think that's good. And one thing that my husband said too, he goes, this is not about being scared of a needle. This is not because we don't want to consent to something experimental, and you're taking people's rights. And I mean, whether you get the vaccine or not, you still have the right, hopefully, as of the moment, to have the right to make that choice. They're wanting to make sure that, and they also talked about putting this into our foods to make sure in the same article to put it into our foods or just spray it in the air, and there goes our consent. We're losing our right and our voice more and more every single day, and this is absolutely alarming. So everybody needs to get onto their congressman, read this article, do some more research, share it on the social medias, send it to me directly. I would love to learn more about this, as my husband, who's a nurse, is also, this is very alarming, because again, we're losing our ability to have a voice. And I've shared that and put that right into the streams. I want you guys to read that for me. Any comments on that, please reach out to me on that, because this is alarming. One of the reasons, again, I opened up my school the way I did is because I did not want to mandate people to do something. And I hated how they used the businesses as the bad guys. It was just, I am not a medical professional at all. I have no medical professional training. I mean, I've never, my husband's a nurse. I am not. And to make me as a business owner mandate what you put in your body or I have to fire you absolutely freaked me out, because and then you could sue me, if something happened to you. And it's like, it's one of the reasons I have the doctor I have right now, because I did not feel comfortable with this. And so I changed the way I started paying my employees. And I was like, you know what? And the way we get funded, I won't go after government grants because I don't want to be mandated to their curriculum and their title programs 1 through 9. I promise you, this is why I do not take grants and why I struggle so bad and ask for donations. Because when I go to look funding and for grants, this is part of the deal. It's like buying a house, all that fine print in the paperwork, right? Well, by accepting that money, I must turn my research in and follow their guidelines, which means I have to follow their curriculum or follow their programs to receive that money. So I don't even apply for government grants. I'd like to see that changed. The same way as like I won't hire employees, I'll make you private contractors with me, because I don't feel it's my responsibility to tell you what to do with your body. You should absolutely have that choice. It should be between you and your doctor, and I should not be your bad guy, especially not that I would ever change if I was a doctor and say that, but as a business owner of a school, who am I to tell you what to do with your body? That is completely up to you on what you do. And so now I guess that's not good enough. And we're just going to think about spraying it in the air for our communities, because everybody's afraid of an injection, which I'm sorry, there is no truth in that at all. So be careful, everyone. I don't know when this is going to start, and I hate that that's coming from one of our Ivy Leagues or any of our universities here in our nation, but go yell. And I say that with the utmost disrespect. And I mean that. All right, everyone. Those are some of the articles. Again, I will share those. I have shared those on all my social medias already. So you'll be able to find them there. I will be posting these links to these articles under my permanent chats underneath my show. So you guys can go and link onto them to read and share them out, to read more about them, educate yourselves, educate your families, and do what you can. And if there's anything, like I said, we got to band together to do something for our youth, because they're being attacked by every single angle. Speaking of youth, guess who's here? It is time to welcome my guest, because there are some youth out there that I'm so proud of. And when I went to CPAC, now I'm going to get all emotional. When I went to CPAC, I did not go there. I mean, it was nice to see, certain people and political figures and stuff, but that was not my mission. My mission, and ever since I've had this show, my mission is to celebrate you out there, what you're doing in your communities. Because what I saw on the news, and I still see on the news, is they always say do something, start something, make a change, but they never talk about the people who are, unless they've written a book, right? But I got to meet so many wonderful people. I had over 50 different people, I promise you that were, that I got to meet. I've interviewed, I've had on my shows, but I had one special night. Not that they all weren't, but I'm interviewing, and I got to meet young Americans from 12 to 21, 4 of them, that were doing amazing things already out there. And it just blows my mind. You guys have seen them. You've seen them come back on as I catch up to see what they're doing. But they're taking it upon themselves to make a change. And I couldn't be more prouder. And one of my great young friends is Anthony Radar, and he is a young man who's out there on the college campuses showing other students, no matter what side you're on, the common grounds in between, what is conservatism and liberal, and finding out how many of these students are actually more conservative than they think they are. And I am so proud of him, and I have been praying for him, and I am so extremely excited to welcome him. Let's do that right now. Let's welcome Anthony on right now.
Hello again.
Hi, I'm so excited to see you. I've been talking about terrible things, but it leads right up to education, It just breaks my heart, Anthony, because, our educational system is so broken and our youth are so broken. And you are seeing this on the front lines as you go and speak to your fellow college students. And they're, seem to be a little bit out there, but you're finding common ground. I mean, so my first question to you is, are you still doing that?
So unfortunately, I had to drop out of the institution that I was enrolled at. So I had to drop out of that unfortunately. Okay. However, I have been making strides within the last 2 weeks. I really think it's because my grandfather's watching out for me up there. And literally just last week on TikTok, the channel has grown over 200 followers.
Wow.
And so I'm very happy about that. And then I was just informed the other day that I am actually getting a political award for the Howard County Young Republicans in Maryland.
Are you really?
Yes.
When is this happening? When are you being presented with this?
November 16th.
Oh, will you send me emails as something that I could possibly attend?
Yeah, I'll forward you the information.
Okay, I'm not too far away from Maryland, everyone. I mean, it's like a half-day drive to me, but I'm so impressed with this young man. And let me give them a little backstory. There's two things. First, I want to say I'm sorry that you're not in the institution that you're in, but I get it. I was at a few schools myself that I had to leave. I'm like, I can't be part of this anymore. You're not going to change your ways, and I have to leave and find a school that's more suited for me. So I understand that. And number two, I've been praying for you, so's my audience. I didn't tell them all the details, but I did tell them that you had a loss, and we've all been praying for you, honey. And we're so sorry for your loss, but we love you, and we're glad that you're here with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
I know that they look out for us on the other side. I know that because my mom came to me after she passed in 2020, and she was like almost in a hurry and telling me, get a paper and pencil, get a paper and pencil. And I'm in the middle of the night with a flashlight, trying not to wake everybody up. It's 3 a.m. And the words were coming so fast. I was writing this down. And how I know for 100% sure it was my mom is her funeral was a disaster. I've never seen my brothers and sisters ever act like this. Everybody was out of control. My dad felt like he was going to have a heart attack. It was COVID, so we couldn't all be at the funeral. I mean, she had 13 brothers and sisters, plus great-grandchildren, great-grandchildren. There's 7 of us with spouses, and half of us couldn't even attend because they counted the funeral director and the minister, and, my dad had to be there. So we're all making a choice, and, it was just the stress levels, right, was horrific. So she came to me in the middle of the night to tell me that and confirm that I needed to open this school. And then she said, I know you were at my funeral. Don't worry about it. I'm with you always. I'm going to fight with you. I'm going to be with you. And I love you, honey. And like I said, I didn't even get to read that until I was done writing. And then it felt like she was just gone. Like she had off again. I was like, okay, what just happened? And I just started crying. And my daughter woke up. She's like, well, who died? I said, nobody died. Your grandma was here talking to me. And she's like, what? But I know that they help us on the other side. And sometimes it feels like they can help us more on the other side than when they're actually here on this earth. It's kind of interesting that way, isn't it?
It definitely is. I mean, I was in Ocean City, Maryland after my grandfather's passing because he's getting cremated. We're going to have the service back in March around his birthday. And I'm at this store called Sensations. My grandfather, he was a Korean War veteran. And he served in the Marine Corps. I actually now live right across the street from the Marine Corps Museum. I go into Sensations. I'm thinking about getting this shirt that says "Never Surrender" with Trump's mugshot on it. So, and I looked down, and there's a Marine Corps shirt right there. It's a 2X, which is just my size, and it's the only one left. That was the
Nice.
only thing I bought in that store.
Yeah.
Right. It was
Something
a size.
to be proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. My father is retired Navy. So I I am thankful so much. I mean, he may not recognize the country that we're fighting for anymore, and he
Yeah.
cries, but I am very grateful to come from a military family who, he gave up. Geez, I mean, he gave his whole life for this, and I'm very, very proud of him as much as you are for your grandfather too. And he fought in the same war. He fought in Korean War as well, and Vietnam, and the tail end of World War II when he was very, very young. But we just don't give enough respect and love to our soldiers. So I'm glad that you found a way to honor him, and I know he's helping you out there. So you've got your social medias are exploding. You have a
Yes.
podcast, everyone. So you can follow him at Politically Unhinged on Rumble. I don't know how often you're doing that anymore, but it's hard to go straight into the beast. I think
Yeah.
TikTok is like straight into the beast. No offense.
It
Right?
is. It is. So, like, the TikTok has surpassed the YouTube channel, which is
Yeah.
honestly astonishing.
Isn't
And
it?
yeah, like, I honestly did not think that was going to happen anytime soon. So, like, when this happened, and I actually got the video up that blew me up. If you guys want to see it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if you have the ability to share that here, or if you want to email it to me and I could share it. Either way you want to do that. We could try, and you could see if you have screen sharing privileges.
Yeah, I believe I do. So let's
Okay.
see. So. All right. Do you guys see it?
I do. I just need to add that to the stage, which I'm doing right now. Okay.
All right. So this one right here is the one that blew me up. Well, let me get me on there. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes. Turn around, fight, die. Every now and then I fall apart, and I need you now tonight, and I need you more than ever. It was just something that simple that blew it up.
Really?
Yeah. And
Amazing.
yep. And ever since then, I've been welcomed in open arms with the Republicans on TikTok. It's very heartfelt that is happening. I actually had another great young American on my podcast last Sunday. A amazing guy, and we talked about how we could repair the West.
I'm so proud of you, youth, for standing up, and you guys choke me up. Whenever I get a youth on this show, I get really emotional because I'm so proud of you. If you guys don't really believe how much I care about our youth, see, like I said, tears are already in my eye. I am so proud of you because it's hard enough to do this as an adult, but to see that you guys have no fear and you're going against your peers. And I love how you approach them, Anthony, because you start out with finding a common ground. Let's just find out how conservative you actually are. And finding that common ground, like, do you love your family? Do you like your freedoms? Well, what are you actually being, what are you actually being told? And what are you actually care about? And then you're finding out that they're way more conservative, showing them that they're way more conservative than they even think they are. And, like I said, I am just so proud that you keep going into the dragon's mouth, and finding this. I don't know if I would ever join TikTok. I've always kind of been against it, but I'm glad to see that there's even a Republican side or another side on there that they're allowing you to show and be a part of, and that it has a huge movement. That's really surprising to me.
Yeah, like, I know, honestly, like, when I joined TikTok, it was to do my comedy. I'm a former comedian. I'm actually trying to go back into it too. But I was not expecting everything to go this way at all. So, like, after I was done working on the campaign last year, I was like, okay, I want to set up a podcast to talk politics. And then it just snowballed from there. Next thing I knew, I'm rebranding everything as my podcast name, Politically Unhinged. And it's an amazing thing to see this happen. And I could not be more thankful to see all this happening right now.
Right. I always say this too, I'm not God, thank heavens, because I'm like, how does God sit there and watch us? And I know we all have our free will, right? And that's the reason. But if I was God, I didn't, whatever's going on with our youth and stuff like that, I'd be lightning bolts like crazy, I'd be like, this person's got to go and this person's got to go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm still kind of tearing up because I'm just, again, so proud. And you've had, this has been a couple of years you've been at this. And, everyone, just, he has videotaped, he's had these discussions, he's been physically on the front lines. You should, having conversations, and they might be 45-minute clips or a minute clip here or a minute, but you're doing it. You're doing a lot more than half the country, and most of the country's doing. And wow. So you're going to rebrand yourself? Are you going to keep the same name?
So everything's been rebranded to Politically Unhinged. It was just originally my name, Anthony Radar, or not Radar like you got it. It's E.
I know.
So
I changed that when I shared it out on my socials, but I'll have to change that under the stream. So sorry, everyone.
Yeah. So
did you do that to protect yourself?
No. So what I realized is that, like, with my last name, so like my dad's very up in Department of Defense. There's that. But what I realized with my name doesn't carry enough weight, basically, because like I'm not basically well known in the movement yet.
Right.
And the way that you want to get into this movement, well, I already said I'm starting a new movement, but the way that you want to get started is that you want to take something that what means to you. Right. I enjoy talking about politics, and I'm very unhinged about it. Like, if you actually go onto my show, I am completely different from what I am right now. I am not as polite. I'll say that. I am not as well put together because I am just staring straight into the camera and I'm yelling because this is emotional stuff that we're getting.
Yes, it is.
I cannot believe that we've had years where no one was getting killed in these endless wars, whereas we finally get out of it while people are getting killed.
Right.
And then guess what? It looks like we're going to have a draft now.
I know. I'm so worried because my kids, all three of them now, are right in that forefront as they are 18, 20, and 22. They're all three of them. And they're not just drafting men, everyone. They're drafting, young ladies as well. So that means all three of my kids are in danger of being drafted. And I don't necessarily mind that if that was something I agreed with or felt that was worth it. But, this is, one of my ninth graders said this to me 2 years back as we did these research projects on the world wars, right? I told him to follow the money. And at the end of the year, he says to me, he goes, I'm just so tired of being a pawn in the elite's game of chess. And I couldn't put it any better myself. I'm like, that's what we feel like. We're just a pawn in this game of chess. And so, and you have every right. I'm glad to hear that you're shouting. Because you're showing your passion. You've had enough. It's time for change. And you don't want to face this. You don't want to lose your future. You don't want to be financially responsible for this mess and not be able to have a family and take care of yourself. And if you don't start screaming about it now, and you're just telling him, here's something else. If you don't say no, then you're non-verbally telling him it's okay.
Yeah.
And you're standing up and saying, no, I've had enough. And I'm glad to see that there are several others like you that are doing the same.
Yeah. Like, it's honestly overwhelming actually seeing this, a lot of this support. Like me, look, I'm from small town in Arizona. I never thought that people would care about my opinion this much.
Right.
That's why I'm thankful to already know that I've already declared that I'm going to be running in 2036, no matter what. So
that's amazing.
Anthony Radar 2036 for president.
I love it. I love it. You go. Well, you have to be 35 to run, that is in our Constitution. So, but I think it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, what an awesome goal for you to have, and nothing should stop you. You could be anything you want to be. Again, all youth are possible. You can kick me off of YouTube and Facebook and Twitter all you want to, but all youth are possible. I won't stop saying it.
Yeah.
And I get passionate about you. I may not be cussing and screaming. I cry, or I get, real emotional about it, but I do. I mean, my congressman's probably so sick of hearing from me, but now I'm to the point of like, do I need to replace you? And then how would I go about doing that? Because I don't belong to the big boys club. I don't want to get shuttled out, but I'm tired of you not doing what you say you're going to do. And, I'm tired of having the choice evil versus worse evil,
Yeah.
the lesser of the two evils, or the uniparty. I mean, we've got to make change. And I am a big advocate for you guys to do that as well, especially our youth, to have an idea of if they're not going to change it, then we are, and that is amazing. So I want to ask you a question because I didn't know you're from Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know what city, if you don't mind.
Sierra Vista. I think I told you.
I know where that is.
Yeah.
We did talk about this.
Yeah.
Because I lived in Tucson, and that's not very far from Tucson at all.
No,
Right.
we say it's not very far, but as soon as we tell it to people on the east, they go like hour and a half. That's terrible.
Right? I'm like, yeah, well, I lived in the middle of nowhere in northern Arizona. I used to drive 55 miles just to my local grocery store because I was completely off grid at that point, which my kids thought that was the best time of their life. And I was like, really? Like, wow. I didn't think they would love that, but awesome. So you're back in the swing of things and you're feeling pretty optimized. And I'm sure that your wonderful grandfather has given you a nod to go forward. What can we do to, and what can we expect from you in the next few weeks or months or this year or next year? What is your adventure going forward?
Yeah, my adventure going forward is hopefully get, YouTube monetized as well. I've been trying to get in talks with Daily Wire here to get over there. But I am going to be releasing hopefully some music as well. Well, basically some like Tom McDonald stuff.
Yes.
And hopefully we're going to keep on going from there. I mean, hopefully by this time next year, if not, it doesn't happen. Whatever. Or I would like to be able to make my living off of these platforms and to go ahead and just speak the truth, because like we got a lot of people who are my age in their mid-20s, he's not knowing what is going on, and it irritates me because I have people that I talk to every day at work going ahead and they're saying this stuff, and I'm just like, that what you're saying is wrong. This stuff isn't actually happening. Like, it doesn't take that long to go ahead and debunk this stuff, which is what I love doing so much.
Right. And it doesn't, it's because you have a critical researching mind. Thank heavens, that your family was able to help you with that, or the schools that you went to, luckily, fortunately, were able to help show you that. But of course, these people, these youth that you're talking to have got that one-way track education where they probably can barely read. They don't know. I mean, I love these videos where they, I think it's the Daily Wire or somebody like that goes out and they talk to the kids on the street going, what's the capital of the country? And they don't know. Who's Abraham Lincoln? They don't know, some guy in the penny, you're like, wow. They don't know. They've taken it out. They removed it. They've not taught it. And the sure as heck can't read or critically think about it. It's not important to them. Or my favorite is, I'm not political. I'm like, honey, everything in a republic is political, especially when it's supposed to be we the people. The moment you start saying, I'm not political, you're turning it over to somebody else to handle for you.
Yep.
And that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Awesome.
100% agree. I mean, like, this is why, like, I've pretty much said that, like, I've left. I like left the Republican Party. Because like, look, I'll always be registered Republican. But like with a lot of these things that these Republicans are saying, and a lot of these like ride or die Trumpers, it's gotten to that point where like I'm just like, we gotta just sit down. We gotta look, we just got to go back to the basics. Look at the policies. Look what these people will actually be doing for you. Look, I love Trump. I voted for the man twice.
Right.
So,
right. I say I'm independent until I have to get into a primary
yeah.
and vote for my primaries, because unfortunately they don't let most states don't let independents vote for your primary election unless you go from one to the other. But other than that, I'm independent, and I teach my youth and my own children the same thing. I'm not saying who to vote for. And as an educator, I'm not here to push an agenda on who you should vote for. But what I will teach you is that you need to look into their actions, because they will show you. They'll have a long history. If you just Google the person or whatever, do some more than just Google. But if you really look into, and you can go into their social medias, go into Google, go into whatever, what websites they have, and find out what they've done. And I'll give you, for instance, so most people know I'm from Virginia. And the governor's had a wife had a huge event here. It's supposed to be for teenage girls, right? And so I brought my daughter, and she's sitting here having like a game show. It looked like a game show where she wanted to say the 10 great things her husband has accomplished. And never once has she even talked to the girls that were there, thank the girls that were there, or even giving them ways and uplifting them to that they are possible. Not a single word to the youth. And it was for the youth. Okay. And one of the things that alarmed me the most is she was so proud that they got a grant to take, and it was, what was it? To take and conserve. She used these words. We got a grant to take and conserve our national land here, so that we can have and preserve it, for our green, what's it called? No, it's not the Green New Deal. It's, what are we calling this? It's not, come on, help me out. They're not calling it, they're calling it something different, where it's the green agenda, and then they don't want to call it climate change. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. She said, so let me rephrase it. She goes, we're so excited to announce that we got a huge grant so that we can take and conserve these national lands in our state so that we can help climate change. This is coming from a GOP.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry. So first of all, you're going to take people's land, farmland. And I'm like, and so I was sorry. This is one of your countdowns of the things you've done that are so great. Is you're taking people's farmland, you're going to conserve it so you can be part of this new green agenda, climate change BS. I was like, are you serious? So at the end of this thing, I literally walked up, and everybody's on the line like she's a huge celebrity. I hate that too, because our politicians are not celebrities, and celebrities, we even give them that status. But they stand there and they want to take pictures, and oh my God, right? I am not that person. I walk out and she's like, you want a picture? I go, no. I said, I hated everything about your speech. And she just sit there. Her handler comes running over because she's like, is this lady a threat? I go, you didn't even speak to the young girls that were here at this event to see you. You nothing, not even a word, not even a thank you, barely. You didn't give them any inspiration. And then you sit there and gave a countdown of all the things your husband did wrong. And she's like, and the handler was like, here's my card. Reach out to us. We'll talk. And they wanted to get rid of me right away. I said, I'm not here to cause any problems. I'm just here mostly because my daughter even pointed out, we drove an hour to come see this, and you didn't even talk to the girls that are here for this event. Right? I mean, this is what I'm saying. And so I'm with you when I say that I'm not for this uniparty, BS. And I'm here as an independent. I'm going to vote for somebody based off your actions, not your words.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, your youth, you're just being told, hey, vote for me. Like what did Biden say? If you're not black, vote for, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I mean, that's just a for instance, right? And they'll use it in a threatening way, or use something in a threatening way so that they make you vote for them, or they manipulate the information to make you vote for them, versus actually teaching you guys that you should actually look into what they're doing, who they are. So good for you. I'm really thrilled. I'm hoping the best. So, are you trying to get in cahoots with Daily Wire? Are you applying for a job with them, or what does that prospect look like for you?
Yeah, so I've been applying there. Like I'm also applying to all these other different media companies, and like I've been telling them, I'm like, look, I mean, even if you want to, like someone to come in eventually and do something, I already got a show. We already got a pretty decent following. and it wouldn't be too crazy to go ahead and get some young blood out there.
Right.
And what and like with Daily Wire, like I've got shows that like I've written, I got movies, like and like I've been using that to my benefit. Like I've told them that, haven't heard anything from them, but I'm just like, you never know though. So I can keep on applying to these places. But like I've already been content with saying that eventually what Politically Unhinged is going to be, my goal anyway, is to make this go ahead and be its own media company.
Nice. Well, I know that Liberty Arise is always, always looking for new people. I know that my producer is trying to do the same thing. And I'm not here to down on Daily Wire or anything like that. I don't necessarily mean that. But when I reached out to them to even like help show them who I am and maybe be on, show to talk about my school, they said, we'd love to for $10,000.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Okay. I'm sorry. The marketing is crazy. I was like, well, I wasn't here to talk to you about marketing. I thought I'd be just, even if it's a 5-minute spot to show people where they can take their children for a different alternative. And right. I mean, some of them are like that. Some of them are not. You might want to reach out to Turning Point. They love the youth.
Yeah.
And that might be an avenue too, and see if that's something else that you can be a part of as well. But I mean, you said Tom McDonald. I love him. Yeah. And I've reached out to him several times because I would love to have him on my show. I'm like, please answer me. I would love to have you on my show,
Yeah.
Because he is another one that is fighting for the youth, and for our nation. I love his song, especially Welcome to the I want to say it's Welcome to the Jungle, but I don't think it's called that. But I have to think about that one. If you guys in the chat, help me out, because that is, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so. I'm trying to, I like know a lot of his songs. So I'm like going by like the lyrics in my head. And
it's the one with the baby cribs and, and he's talking about.
Okay, I know exactly which one.
Which one is it?
And so that one is, it's not Fake Woke. Just give me a second.
Right.
I'll
play that at the end. I was going to play something else, but I really love that. I mean, it just, again, it's fighting for our youth, talking about, their prospects of being, what can they become, without being indoctrinated, without being, and I really think that he's great. I love a lot of these people that are coming out with music like this, and they're independent and they're hitting number ones, and that's also a good sign. Because of what you kids are listening to. I'm glad you while you're looking that up, because I was listening to some of my daughter's music, just, she's just turning and becoming an adult. And I was like, why are you listening to these songs? I thought you have songs of celebration. And she's listening to a song that was telling her, I'm weak. And what's wrong with that? I'm like, why would you ever listen to a song like this? Instead of being, I'm wonderful, I'm powerful, I can become anything. I mean, where are your guys's, we will rock you, and I have the tiger, and right?
Yeah.
And now your song, you're talking about you being lonely, depressed, weak, and that's okay.
Yeah. So that song that you were talking about is called "The System" by Tom McDonald.
The System. Thank you.
And
I love that song.
Yeah. So like I listen to those guys. I listen to my country rappers all the time. I mean, since you were talking about, like, how I put it is that I'm an emo country kid, that like, so because like I do listen to that, like depressed stuff, like you put it. And,
right.
I do listen to that, but like that stuff actually gives me energy. In all honesty, it gets me through the day.
That's right.
There's my favorite band of all time, From Ashes to New. They have a song called "My Name," and it's about the band going, oh, like, we're going to make the world know our names.
Nice.
So they're amazing. I mean, they're not political whatsoever, but they are honestly amazing.
And we need more artists like this, and I'm thankful for the ones that are stepping out, that are independent, saying, you know what, I don't need it. What is the young man who does Richmond, north of Richmond, right? And right, he's just like, he just came out with this amazing song. He's like, I don't need anybody, I can be completely independent. But his words and songs, and it's reaching over every single different kinds of genre too, and you're like, Oh, keep it up, and it's just amazing.
Yeah,
Great
that's
job,
Oliver Anthony. I've heard
Oliver
so many
Anthony.
great stories about that man.
Right, right, and just right, and he's your age. This is
Yeah,
what I'm saying about you youth. You're standing up, you're making a change. I'm so glad to hear that you guys are just going, okay, we've got to start standing up and fighting for ourselves and our lives, because the future that's being given to you right now is horrendous. I mean, I'm halfway through mine. I'm probably going to be here for a long time, so I'm going to see it. My dad more or less goes, I'm on my way out. So, I'm terrified for my grandkids and great grandkids, but I'm so glad to see that there are individuals like you. I couldn't be more proud. I
yeah,
just am. How
yeah.
can we help you, Anthony?
Yeah, just go ahead and support me on all the media platforms. Politically Unhinged, I'm on everything besides like Apple Podcasts because I cannot for the life of me figure out Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
necessarily do that either. I love Rumble because it's such a wonderful free speech platform. Half the time we're kicked off of YouTube. I tried streaming on my Facebook for my school, and one episode, and they kicked me off. I'm surprised they didn't shut down the whole Facebook site
yeah,
again.
yeah.
And it's probably because I said all youth are possible.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I'm still allowed on YouTube. Like I've gotten
Right?
so like the only video that I've gotten taken down is with my buddy Ken Carson. He's a very feminine gay man who is a conservative. Great man, great person to talk to. You should definitely reach out to him. I'll give you his information
Okay.
and like his social media
I
stuff.
love that.
He'd love great guy. Yeah, just keep on like following me on all my different social media platforms. I'm everywhere now. I'm politically unhinged. Like in all honesty, like I'm on Twitter. I stream to Twitter now too. I do Twitch,
We
YouTube
do
when I'm
too.
streaming, and
Hmm.
I still haven't gotten to the Rumble yet point to be able to stream, but that will come. That will come. That will come. I
Yeah.
got to
If
learn how
you
to
need any help with
manipulate that
that,
algorithm still. So
okay. If you need help with that, we'll make sure that we pro that. And you know what, Anthony, if you just want to email me all your handles, I will make sure I put those in our permanent links below so people can follow you. But if you guys don't know, Anthony has literally got permission to take a break from work to be here with you. So I'm going to give you the next 10 minutes to basically talk about you, what you would like to say, um, how to inspire, because I love it when you say something about inspiring others. And then again, give everybody at the very end your social media handles, okay, and where they can find you. And if you could just email me that list as well, I'll make sure that I put that in my permanent chat.
yeah, I'll put it. I'll put my link tree up for you. Definitely.
Okay.
So yeah. So what I've been doing, like, I honestly cannot be more thankful for it every single day. Like, never in a million years would I think that just a small town kid in the middle of nowhere of Arizona would be getting this far. Or I'm very thankful for everything that's been happening to me, and my grandfather may not be here anymore, but I know that he's proud of me, yeah, and that I'm keeping the namesake of his brother true and proud as well. So I'm very thankful for that. And but yeah, what I've been doing is that even when I'm not live now, I've been posting some stuff exclusively to TikTok, some stuff exclusively to YouTube. Yeah, but what's next is trying to figure out that short term, sorry, not the short form, the middle form content, where I can cut stuff into clips and do videos. That's the next thing that I'm trying to get to. The next big steps though is going ahead trying to figure out like I've already endorsed my candidate for the Republican Party for people. No secret who I've endorsed. Of course, it's actually not Trump.
Right.
So, but yeah, like I'm very thankful for everything that's been going on here like forever. It's honestly amazing. What's next is that uh, I want to be talking to people, trying to get people to go ahead and start their own podcasts to the point where like we can go ahead and hopefully start something soon. Soon, we're going to go ahead and get this media platform going. Uh,
Nice.
we, so
Nice.
we're gonna,
Awesome. You know, again, if you need any help or anything like that, I know that my producer built up his own, media company as well. He might have some special tips for you. Some any kind of information. I could definitely share that information with you via email, so you can reach out to him saying, hey, do you have any advice? And the more voices, the better. We got to, little by little, we've got to do some change. And I know it starts locally, but it's so much more than that. So much more than running for your school board. It's so much more than running, I mean, it's, again, and I don't know, with the voting system that we've got going on here, I don't know. I mean, you can say, and they say this on both sides, but I've heard my entire life about the dead voting. So that it's been a problem since forever, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So how we do this, is by being active, holding people accountable. I really love this, holding people accountable, because they're not used to this. This is something new to them. When people are reaching out going, I'm sorry, excuse me, you did what? You spent money where? And multiple people are doing this. This seems to be a different change, which I am liking, because now people are showing up and interviewing them on the spot, and they may ignore you and tell them to leave you alone, but guess what? You're there. And they are not used to this either. And I know you're one of those people that actually go and meet with them and see these kind of people, not only at the college campus. I know that you've been out there going, I'm sorry, I voted for you and you are not doing this. You have anything to say to this? And they may ignore you and they may walk by, but they're still not used to this, and they're still being held accountable and videotaped and shown that they're not being accountable. So that's an amazing first step. So I'm loving that.
Yeah, like that's what we need to do. I mean, like, to people that don't even have kids, like, in the system, or like you're my age, you're single, well, all right, going to the school stuff, all right. If you're noticing it, you got to say something. It's actually more powerful if you say something than
Right.
like a parent comes, because if you're noticing this stuff happening, then damn well the parents know.
Mm-hmm.
But as you, as an individual that doesn't have a dog in the fight right now, it's even more powerful for these people. Well, I've gone ahead. I've talked in front of state legislatures, whereas I've talked in front of so many different people, and like I'm still very thankful for these experiences. Is you got to make these connections. You got to go ahead, draw point A to point B, going like, okay, this is where we are. This is how we get back to normal. You got to question everything you're told. And I hope you're
Mm-hmm.
questioning what I'm saying right now. So,
Right. Right. I agree with that. I always say, hey, don't trust me. Go do your own. I tell my students that. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Make me a liar. Show me what you're learning. Go out there and show me this or show me that. And making them go do research, and they can either prove that I'm right or prove that I'm wrong, and then let's talk about it. And then what do we make a change? Like in my U.S. history class, or any of my history classes, right? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let's look it up. Hey, prove me wrong. When I taught journalism, I love teaching that one, because I'm like, let's look at the same narrative on all these different, news medias. And it's even different. Even the same company, let's say New York Times per se, on the East Coast, their title will be one thing, and on the West Coast, it's something completely different. And my students were noticing that from Oregon versus my students over here in Virginia or Florida.
yeah.
They're like, they didn't even notice that the titles were different, but it was the same article per se. And you're like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, another thing that I've seen with those people is that they'll also change little tiny words in each article. Cola. It will be something that, like, very non-existent that you don't think about, and they're going to change that subtly. Now they're also
Right.
doing these to articles that they've already released. So like you can go check these articles that they release, and they go like, oh, we have a new update. All that they did was just change the text just a little bit. They don't have an actual update for you.
Right. Right. That's right. And it's amazing. Sorry, 1 second. So people are loving you in the chat, and they're so proud of you as well. Just so you know that, I'm letting you know. So that's awesome. Thank you guys. I thrilled. Thrilled. Thank you so much for saying that. But It's absolutely, you're right. And we have to, and when it's more powerful, like you said, when you don't even have children, or you're a youth yourself, and you're standing up in these meetings or up to these people, because they don't even know. They're like, wait a minute, you're awake? You're paying attention
Yeah.
at your age? And like you said, that is a lot more powerful. I tell people this too, no matter, regardless of your age, show up at those meetings, show up at your local board meetings, show your city commission meetings, show up at your mayoral meetings, show up at your school meetings, even if you don't have kids, because you're like, I may not have kids here, but I'm still noticing what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. And that's what I've been noticing. It's just one of those things, and it honestly ticks me off about what everything is happening right now. My little sister, my parents pulled her out of the public school system. She actually spoke in front of the same legislature that I did on behalf of her 4-age group.
Wow.
So, like, when you're having kids that are her age, that are, I believe she's 13 now, 14, whatever 2009 was. And like, she's speaking out against it, and you're already having these people having this light bulb go off on their head, and it's going like,
Yes,
oh,
right.
oh.
That's right.
Now, it's honestly insane that, like, these politicians, we pay them to think logically,
Right.
but these people are no longer thinking logically anymore. They're thinking with their emotions, and they're going ahead and they're doing what these propaganda outlets want them to do.
That's right. That's right. You have to tell your parents about my school if they need something. Because what you're telling me about her is one of the girls I had that graduated and ended up going to law. She wants to be a lawyer. And before she came, she was completely failing. She had almost all F's in the public school system, ended up graduating as valedictorian of our school 2 years ago. And because of our math teacher who taught her in economics, I've heard that project-based education, it really doesn't work. But let me tell you, my economics teacher taught these guys how to literally write their own business plans, how you write your own business plans, taught them how to do that, taught them how to do the P&L statements, how to do the costs, how to do the marketing, the logos, everything to go with it, no matter the business, right? And the economy was crashing and supplies were crashing. So she made them go back and redo all of that to adjust all of their financials as well. Taught them about home budget, personal budget. She even threw child development into this project, going, oh, guess what? You just had a baby. So now how are you going to get your dream come true? I mean, it was unreal.
Yeah.
Absolutely unreal what she taught them. But this young girl, she started noticing things like on TikTok and Facebook. She goes, everything I got is like an algorithm about I'm not pretty enough, suicide. And she's like, I just was like really noticing how they were honing in on her. And she goes, I'm just sick of it. They just really want me just to either feel I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not worth it enough, or I just need to kill myself.
Yeah.
And it's alarming. And she goes, I just have to get back. Or what she did is she completely deleted her stuff and came up with a different profile and started, making sure that her algorithm was cleansed and started fighting back. And I was like, wow, I am so proud of her as well. That I could, like I said, I could just cry because, if I had a little bit to help with that, I'm thrilled. But I mean, you youth are amazing, and I highly respect you because it's a very scary platform and future and pathway. But I am so proud that you're willing to take this on. I like I said, I'm like a happy mama here. I'm so thrilled and so proud of you. And I'm going to do anything I can to help promote you. So you need to keep in contact with me so that we can do such a thing, okay? And everyone, he's on Rumble, but TikTok seems to be the place to go find him. I'm not a big fan. I won't be following you on TikTok, but I will be following you everywhere else, which I believe I already do. So I don't know. I'm just so leery of TikTok. I've just heard so many terrible things about it, that I don't even allow my own children. Well, my children are adults now, but when they were little, no TikTok. But it seems like it's slightly changing.
Yeah, so like us conservatives on TikTok, we're like getting all these different strikes, right? For just saying the truth. We're able to fight back and get these strikes taken down, which
Nice.
is amazing. So like we are definitely right here. Here we're ready. We're ready to take on the fight. It's honestly gotten to that point where I'm very thankful to see that my following, especially like I've been seeing a lot more youth come out there and follow me now. Now,
Mhm.
especially young men, because as
Nice.
not sure if you've seen the study, but men, so young teenage boys under the age of 18, I mean, are more conservative now than ever.
Mhm.
And
You're under attack. You
yeah,
know, you've been masculine, right? If that's a word. Your
emasculated. Yeah,
masculinity has been threatened. They want you to all become a girl. You're soy boys. I hate to say that, and they've taught the women, I don't need a man.
yeah.
I didn't need to get married. I don't need to have a family. You are, insufficient. I don't have to depend on you. And so I'm so glad that you guys are fighting back, going, we actually are of value. We don't belong in your prison systems. We need to be taught a future and a pathway. And you guys, it's nice to hear you're fighting for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is why I'm actually going to be drafting up a bill hopefully soon myself and proposing it to multiple different slate legislatures because of like all these different movements that we're having right now. I mean, like, even with the Me Too movement still in effect right now, going ahead and we're imprisoning men for like all these things that there's no proof that they did. So, like, I am going to be proposing a bill in multiple different states now to multiple different legislatures
Nice.
to imprison
Nice.
these women and like other men that who have gone ahead and dragged the other person's name down in the mud just for financial gain or anything like that, and they would have to serve the same time as the person that they have accused
You
because like
know,
it is ridiculous that we're
I-
seeing
you
this
know,
now.
I agree. In fact, my wonderful neighbors have a grandson that he fights like crazy to get co-guardianship, to get whatever, and he goes into court and everything's for the mom. And
Yeah,
he's like, I desperately just want to be a dad to my children. I financially pay for them. I just want more time with them. I want to be a part of their lives. And I get punished for just even being the man. She gets all the privileges and I get nothing. And he is a wonderful young man. And I know their family. He was raised so right and he's trying to do the right things, but he gets punished and humiliated and degraded and stuff because of him being a male. I mean, I even agree that when it even comes to abortions, no, I'm not for, but if it takes two to tango, and if the father wants that child, he should have a voice in the matter. He helped make that child,
yeah.
and you don't even have a voice in that matter. And so it's nice to see that you guys are starting to say, you know what, we have some rights here, and we're tired of being trampled on. The father figure and the male figure in the family role is so important. You need, I'm glad you know that, honey.
Yeah, I mean, like I've seen all these people around my age grow up without these fathers figures, and
Hmm.
like seeing what's going on now, whether like or not they had a father in the house, it was probably absent-minded, and
Right.
it's honestly heartbreaking.
It is.
And we're seeing all these men and turn into straight betas or omegas,
Right.
these men no longer want to be the man help provide for the family, help stick up for the family. It is time for us to go ahead and fight back for all this stuff because like the generations that have come before us have put us into these situations, which is very unfortunate. That the
Yes.
Republicans have gone ahead and when they were just like, yeah, you can take this inch, and the left has already gone ahead and take this mile beyond miles. And now with our backs turned against the wall,
That's right.
uh, I am leading a
Hmm.
full rush. We're doing a blitzkrieg. This isn't going to be one step. I want to start with a few steps and then we are going to be coming for every single one of them. And we're going to get this country back on track the way that our founding fathers intended to do so.
I'm glad you brought them up because I was going to tell you one great thing before you go. I know it's getting close to you having to go. So the founding fathers, most of them were your age. My great grandfather, well, my husband's, but this was Alexander, right? He was 19 to 21 when he was helping write the Constitution and fighting in the Revolutionary War and doing all this change. He was 19 to 21 years old, everyone. And most of them were somewhere around that age, with like I think Benjamin Franklin being the oldest at like 45 or something. But most of them were your age. And it's so exciting to see. So there's some inspiration. Maybe you're being inspired by them as well, because if young men could do it then and give us a nation, you guys can absolutely do it again and give us back a nation.
Yep, I mean, I'm taking that to heart. James Madison, great man, the actual father of the Constitution, unlike what they actually teach. So I
Right.
have gone ahead and taken my beliefs and I've modeled it after him and gone ahead and saying, like, this is what we need to do to get back on
That's
track.
right.
And it's honestly
Well,
heartbreaking that we have to do that.
I know it is, but you know what? I'm proud of you. I
Thank
very
you.
much, like I said a million times tonight, but I am very proud of you. And we are going to do everything we can to continue to help you fight this fight and be there for you. And we're not going to let you do it alone. I know that I'm in it. There's several people that I know that, whether they're watching this podcast or I've seen them or they're friends of mine and they're on social media, we're all trying to figure out a way to help and be a part of this change, because our country is very important. When you go to a different country, especially a communistic one, and you come back here, and even with the limited things that we may or may not have right now, I have never been so thankful in my life for America, and especially coming from family that's fought and to preserve those freedoms for us. So, honey, give everybody your social media handles before you have to go, okay?
Yep. So I'm politically unhinged on all platforms. I believe YouTube is Twitter is PU pod
Okay.
something like that. And then the best way to support me right now, if you guys want to get some merch, this is going to help me go ahead and get this time to actually set aside so I can go ahead and fight for this stuff for you guys. At tinyurl.com/PU merch. That is P as in Peter, U as an umbrella merch. So go ahead. So tinyurl.com/PU merch. That's the best way to go ahead and support me so we can continue this fight because in all honesty, it starts with us right here, you guys listening. And we are going to go ahead and we are actually going to unleash the Kraken on them this time. So
I love it. Well, I look forward to this. When you start with that and you are ready, I know you're doing it now, but when you're ready to like go all out, you need to come back and tell us, hey, where are you going to be, how we can go see you, how we can do something more. And everybody, like I said, if you want to help them get started, please go and visit these sites. The least you could do is to follow, like, share, these things. And then if Christmas is coming around the corner, there's another local person that we can help support that is doing something to help fight our nation. And we love you for it. We love you. And you're in our prayers, honey, and in our hearts. And I couldn't say enough great things about you. Thank you so much for coming back and being with me tonight. And if you ever want me on one of yours again, you let me know. I've been on his show too, guys. I'm fighting everywhere I can.
yeah, I'm gonna try to get you back on definitely soon.
Okay.
Next guest I'm trying to get scheduled is my buddy Ken. He wants to come back on again.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Well, I'm interested in your award. I would really like to see if I can fit that into my schedule and physically watch you get that award. That's amazing, and congratulations. You deserve it, sweetie.
Thank you. I'll send it to you via my personal email.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Thank you. All right. And I know you have to go. He's got to go to work at 9 here, everyone. So I will see you again soon. We'll be in touch.
Yes, we will.
All right. Have a great night, hon.
You as well.
Thank you. All right, everybody. How exciting is that to have him come in? I hope you enjoyed listening to his wonderful enthusiasm, his ability and desire to fight for our country. It just inspires me that our youth are getting active. It really inspires me. I mean, especially when in a world of such indoctrination and being held back, that they're starting to see through this mess and wanting to start to stand up and realize of the wonderful free country that we have before we lose it and say, I'm done taking this. Like I said, there's like that day at the CPAC, I met 4 of them, and they just lined me up with these 4 young men that were doing amazing things to start, and their ages. He was the oldest. I think he's 22, and the youngest was 12. And I mean, I was in tears by the end of that night, because I was so impressed that they were able to start going, you know what, we see it, we've had it. And kudos to their families for helping support them as well. And please also keep Anthony in your prayers as you hear that his grandfather has just recently passed. I asked you guys to pray for them last week, and I really appreciate those that have. All right. Before we leave, everyone, I said that I had some stuff I wanted to go over. Okay. So for Christmas, again, I told you I am trying my best to support people that I have had on, and, you know, find a unique Christmas gifts. If I'm not going to make them, I know they're being handmade. They're a personal touch. I really love you guys more than just being on the show. I'm trying everything I can to also support as much as I possibly can. I wish I could support you all. I'm trying, but huge shout outs for my previous guests that I am doing that. I'm just going through here. I wanted to tell you a little something else before I show you my gifts that I'm going to be giving away. I just had my blood work done, and it was really interesting. Like I told you, I love my doctor. I don't go see the doctor that often. I wonder why, but I do have a naturopath that I love that works with my an office with a DO, and my husband had previously worked with him. And he left that because he also felt very uncomfortable giving a vaccine that he saw blank inserts on, and was alarming to him because he felt like, how do I help my patients if I don't even know what the heck's in this? And I don't know what the side effects were coming. I don't know how to save them if they have one. And so he opened up his own firm, his own business, and he has a naturopath in there, and I love. And came back and said my cholesterol was up a little bit, not alarming, but enough, you know, because I eat such a natural diet, guys. He's like, probably from all the proteins you're eating. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you're going to have to kind of watch that. He goes, normally doctors put you on a statin. He goes, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to recommend apple cider vinegar. This is what I love. And so I'm like, I'd have to take like a small shot or whatever. So I take a shot of that and like a shot of juice or something or whatever, to like a chaser every single day. And I love that he offers me natural remedies. He's the one that came up with the thing of, hey, you can make your own hard cider. I was like, what? You know, or, I'm sorry, your own mead with honey. He was talking about how much I love honey. And he made that suggestion. That's one of the reasons I showed you guys how to make mead, which my mead is already brewing and looking amazing. He came back and says, I'd like you for 6 weeks, you know, well, probably longer, but we'll check your blood again in 6 weeks. And it's like, again, not alarming, not like I'm going to have a heart attack. He goes, but there's a natural way. And there's so many great benefits to apple cider vinegar. He goes, I'd like you to start including that in your diet. Isn't that just crazy? I mean, I've heard so many great things about apple cider vinegar. You know, oh, thank you so much, JJ. I love that. But apple cider vinegar, right? And I'm like, what doctor prescribes apple cider vinegar? I love this guy. And so, I mean, it's the hardest kind of thing. One of the hardest things to swallow, because when you get it up to your nose, you almost want to take your breath away because of the vinegar. But I'm doing it. I've been doing it this week, and we'll keep you updated on that. But again, you know, finding the right medical care, somebody who absolutely gets it, and somebody who's completely uncomfortable with being just following the mandates. You know, I find it a miracle. I keep continuing to thank God for the blessings I receive. And I mean that. Going into November, I have so much to be grateful for. I just can't tell you. I know it seems crazy out there, but these little things are just literally saving my life. Going from paralysis to being able to walk just by the local foods, from these amazing organic nurseries that are down the street from me, and the local beef guys, you know, that are helping me out, growing my own gardens, you know, learning what my grandmother and mom taught me with canning and freezing and keeping these things, making them, you know, these homemade things. And it literally is saving my life. And he was absolutely believable of that. He's like, yeah, I can believe that. So, and he's like, you know, I want to give you some vitamins, which he did prescribe a vitamin for me because they're so expensive now. I mean, when you go out to try to buy vitamins, and then when we did buy one, was having reactions to it. He goes, no, let's get you some local kind of thing, something that I know is a good line. And so he prescribes that because I don't want to pay $35 a bottle anymore. I am paying for insurance, or at least my husband's paying for insurance. They might as well use it. So I will take it for the vitamins, and then apple cider vinegar. And these were his suggestions to me. And he's like, and get yourself out in the sunlight some more. That could probably do you some good. I teach online, so most of the time I'm in front of a computer like I am here with you guys. So he's like, you need to go outside and be in the sun a little bit more. So I guess that means more mowing the lawn, which I love to do anyway. Taking a nice walk with my husband, doing those kind of great things. All right. So before we leave, Sunday. All right. What am I doing? Sunday, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my show on Sunday. We're going to be learning how to make cookie mixes to give away. And these are really awesome, where you just put in jars the cookie layers, and all you have to do is add your butter and your eggs to it. But you have the cookie mixes ready to go, and you can label them. You can put them in beautiful jars, or it's such a neat gift to give away that can make cookies for any time. You can put all different kinds of different cookie mixes in there. So we're doing cookie mixes and aprons. And that is such a personalized gift that you could do, a great thing to give your neighbors or something like that, instead of giving them just the candy, giving them something to make cookies with. And I remember getting those before and loving those as a gift. And then my daughter, who just made for my birthday aprons, I thought I would show you how easy it is to make aprons and to design them and to personalize them. And it's going to be one of the few things that we are showing you. And I'll probably also find something to cook for you, to share with you as well. I just haven't thought about it. I am getting pumpkins, and I know I'm going to show you guys how to do pumpkin soup soon. But I will think of something tomorrow to add to that, a little cooking segment as well. All right. So make sure you guys check me out Sunday, 12 p.m. on these channels. That would be great. And am I missing anything here? I want to make sure. I told you guys that our producer is coming back on the air. He's been able to work so much with the residents of Maui. He's from Maui. Our heart goes with him and still with the beautiful citizens of Maui. But it's been a huge struggle, especially just even getting clean water. And he's been so busy, he's not been able to stream. But he's coming back this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll be happy to see Scott back on the air. All right. And I am looking. I think I've told you guys where to find me. If not, again, I'll tell you again. True Social is really kind of my home. And a lot of where all my new friends are. I love you guys so much. And you can find me at Lady Hamilton Art, and also on Facebook, although I'm very, very rarely there. I only usually post my artwork or my school on there. But you still can reach me on that. But I love my True Social and Twitter. You can find me at Lady Hamilton AR1. Okay. But I told you I'm going to be giving some gifts away. And I love books, and I love our youth. And these aren't just for youth. They are for you as well. But I've had some really wonderful donations. So I will be giving a few lucky followers. You guys just reach out to me. Truth is probably the best way. You can also email me as well, but going on Truth and kind of just saying, hey, I want to be one of those that get that. That would be great. I have my own group, which is Artist Corner. You can find me in that group. You can see me on there as well. But you can put it in the permanent chat too. Hey, I'm one of your followers, but people who follow me on here and share and all this kind of things, I do want to make sure you guys are the first to take dibs on this. But I will be giving away an Ayn Rand book. Your choice too. It can either be The Fountainhead, We the Living, or Atlas Shrugged. And I have enough for, a few of you guys. I don't have enough for everybody. I wish I did. But I do have some extra that I will be sending out. So if you're interested in one of these, please reach out to me. Again, we have Atlas Shrugged. I love We the Living as well. Or The Fountainhead. Okay. And I have a couple of rabbit skins that I'm willing to send your way as well. And this is an amazing book. And like, again, these are all teen approved. So if my high schoolers are loving these books, yours might just as well, as well. So reach out to me, because these will be my Christmas gifts to you for following, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. I cannot tell you how much I love you guys, how much you mean to me, how much. Thank you so much for allowing me to continue to be here for you. I mean, from you guys donating to microscopes to, helping out other children, being able to attend my school, to just having a platform here to be able to speak to you every week. I love you guys so much, and I can't say it enough. Thank you. So this is my thank you for you, and hopefully I can help with a little bit of Christmas. Again, I'll be giving out some gifts to you and be sending them. I'll need an address to send it to, of course, so we can reach out by DM. But again, these are your choices. So you have Ayn Rand's, 3 of hers. You can choose We the Living, The Fountainhead, or Atlas Shrugged. And I have only a few extra of these, okay, this year. But Rabbit Skin is a great one from Catchard himself. So that is my gift. And I hope that you guys are watching and enjoy. I love Ayn Rand books, right? I know they're so awesome. They're so awesome. And it's absolutely my pleasure to be able to give you guys a gift for the holiday season, okay? So I was going to play something different on our way out. And this one won't make me cry. The other one usually makes me cry. But since we're talking about him so much, oh, and please like, follow, and share to my channel before you leave. That would be lovely. But since we were talking about him, and I was like, I really love this, and hopefully YouTube will not be a problem and kick us off. Let me make sure I don't. I do love this song. I know I've asked several times, you guys reach out. If you, say, hey, Tom McDonald, you need to go see Lady Hamilton, because I've reached out a couple times. I'd love to have him on the show. I'm going to finish our show with that song. And thank you guys for reminding me what that was. My mind just totally went blank on names. And he's one of them. Oliver Anthony was another one you helped me with. And also Struggle Jennings, which I play on here several times. I love their music. And it's my pleasure to help promote and share with you who they are. So everyone, I will see you again. We'll have another wonderful artist on next Friday. And share you with her beautiful work. Very exciting. I've had Lynn share a friend of his that wants to come on as well, as we learned last week of, that's another outlet too, where he's got artwork that is from all different ranges. So that's another great way to beautify somebody's home and give a wonderful, sweet gift on. But I'll see you guys on Sunday, okay, as we do prayer, scripture, and we learn about gift giving. And I hope to inspire you with some of these gifts. I hope you guys saw the mead one and the cider one. If you have, let me know how it's going for you. Mine's brewing really, really well so far. So far, so good. And I thank you again for being here tonight. Don't forget again to please like, follow, and share this show. That means so much to me, and that helps us out, and my guests as well. Not just me, but also them. As it's not all about me. It's really also help promoting you guys. And if you want to be on my show, just please reach out. I would love to hear from you. Have a beautiful Friday night, everyone. Go hug and kiss your family, especially your babies. And I will see you guys all on Sunday. All right. Everyone be blessed. And we are going to play one of my favorite songs. I think it is my favorite song from Tom McDonald on our way out, everyone. So I'll talk to you soon. See you soon, everyone. Good night.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrinate as you come out the womb. Be quick, stupid curriculum at school, and if the classroom doesn't do the trick, will make you watch the news. Pick your team, right to left. You can put it even till everyone lose. Don't for designer, be Gucci or you can't stand, so you can buy some cans of fruit, go over and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. What's the problem? You're depressed society. As you we got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also blue and pop out a few babies that are just like her white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is all. Here inside the system, violence is welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay. We'll encourage self-destruction through the music that you play. We divided all the men by trying politics and race, and honestly, it's working awesome. So for your sexuality, then blame you for the raven weapon. As the differences that make our men and women great, then just to screw with you, erase the genders. Everyone's the same. We'll empower you with rights to vote and fight for equal pay, then have the men turn into women and you'll fight for them again. But you thought you had it figured out, but everything has changed. Welcome to the system. Please enjoy your stay. Here's a Bible and a bottle of the cheapest booze we make. Find a man who can take care of you to fill the holes we made. Buy a house and settle down, fulfill your duty, procreate, and make a couple babies who will also do the same. Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here in the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, everybody. I'ma paint you black and white. I'ma make you hate each other so that everyone will fight. I'ma give you our religion, let the righteous find the light, but I will also give you science to oppose the word of Christ. And I'ma give you borders, they're imaginary lines. If you cross them, go to war and win when everybody dies. And I'ma give you money that you'll value more than life, and let the 1% have everything while you fight to survive. And then I'll give you politics, I'll call it left and right. And while you divide yourselves, I will conquer both the sides. Can't you see? I'm the system, my whole purpose is divide. What you choose will never matter because everything is mine. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.